Still 52 people have joined. Am I audible to everyone? Am I audible? Okay, okay. Right. So let us start our today's session. So my screen is visible to everyone. Okay, okay, okay. All right. So we have completed 2 units of our syllabus. So in the first unit, we understood what exactly the big data and what are the various fundamental data structures that are supported by Java framework, like linked list, stacks, queues, sets, maps. So these things we have discussed, and implementation of generic classes and as well as wrapper methods. So these things we have discussed in the first unit, and later we'll try to understand the in the second unit we'll try to understand the uh, what way internally the Hadoop system is going to be designed and developed, and the Google file system which acts as a base for the implementation of Hadoop, especially HDFS. Okay, so these things we have discussed in the second unit, and later the building blocks of HDFS and the configuration of Hadoop in various in three different modes: standalone mode, pseudo distributed mode, and fully distributed mode. So these things we have covered so far. Now let us start how to use this HDFS and Hadoop to solve the real-time problems. So initially we'll take the weather data set which we have downloaded from the National Climatic Data Center. I'll show you the website from where this information was downloaded. So this is the website from where we can download the data. Say for example, if you click on data access, you can find here different parameters: land-based station, satellite, radar, model, weather balloon, like that. In that, if I click it on land-based, so here you can observe that the data sets, find a station, station metadata. So here, if you click on station metadata, the historical observing metadata repository. So this is the website. By using this, you can download the weather data of United States of America. Right? Because why we are taking this particular one is here is the centralized database which contains the information regarding all the weather stations. Okay, and the consolidated report of weather report. So that is the reason we'll consider this one as our example. Now, so this is the format of weather data set. See, usually there are so many tens of thousands of weather stations are present in a country. Say for example, a weather station is located nearest to us is Visakhapatnam. Okay, Hyderabad. Like different places will have weather stations. Each and every weather station will capture some information. So in that, for our analysis purpose, will consider the temperature which is present in the air. Okay, so through weather station, we'll try to capture the air temperature. Okay, so like that, all the stations are capture the same information and they were recorded internally in their database. Okay, uh, here in the climatic data center, which acts as a centralized database for maintaining the weather information which is collected from all the stations. Weather information from weather information captured by the weather stations. That information need to be sent to the centralized place. Now, here in the National Climatic Data Center, what it contains is every year it maintains a folder, labeled it as a year. Say for example, 2020 is the label for the current year. Similarly, 2019 is the label for the previous year. So what that folder contains is, it is a zip folder which contains the information which all the weather stations are recorded in that particular year. In that particular year. Okay, each year is labeled. Okay, and it contains the information which is captured by the weather stations, all the weather stations. Say for example, imagine we have 10 weather stations and each station is captures the information per day once. Assume like that. It won't be happen like that. There are with regular interval, the information is going to be captured. But for better understanding, what our assumption is, there are 10 weather stations. Each station captures information once per day. Okay, so how many number of records it is going to be generated for the year? 365 or 66 if it is leaf year. Okay, so each station in a year it generates 365 records. Okay, and for the 10 stations altogether, if you keep it as a single folder or single file, so that file contains 3650 records. Okay, now here what we are supposed to be a record contains is, so this is the information of a particular record. Okay, so are you able to see this or can I zoom it? Is it visible to you? Are you able to read the lines on my screen? Are you able to read the lines? Okay, okay. Right. Here the first parameter is weather station identifier. That means for every station will be assigned with a unique number. In this case, 332130 is the weather station identifying number. Okay, and here you can observe that observation date, observation time. So this is the information regarding a single record. Single record, what it contains, you are supposed to observe. Latitude, longitude, and elevation in meters, wind direction, and quality code, sky ceiling height, followed by quality code, visibility distance, quality code, and air temperature, degrees in Celsius of 10 meters square. So that means suppose if it is 128 minus 0.128, which is equivalent to minus 12.8 degrees Celsius. 12.8 degrees Celsius, right? like the dew point temperature, atmospheric pressure. Okay, so this is the some information. This is the information of a recorder. Like that, as per our assumption, we have 10 weather stations. Each station captures information once per day, so that a station can generate 365 records in a year. If we concatenate all the records of that particular year, altogether it becomes 3650 records. Okay, hope you all clear with this, right? Now what we have to do is, we need to we have 100 years, century years of information like this. That means we have the information from 9001 to 2001. Let us assume that, not assumption. These for our analysis, we'll retrieve the information from 9001 to 2001. That is 100 years information. Now our task is, we want to find out the maximum temperature that it was recorded in an year. For example, what was the maximum temperature that is recorded in 1901, and similarly 1902, okay, 1903, 1900, like that. We are supposed to display all 100 years maximum temperature, year followed by the maximum temperature that it was recorded. So that means you need to search in the 3605 records. You need to compare one with another with the temperature field. Okay, and finally you are able to get the maximum temperature out of 3650 records in an year. Similarly, we'll continue the same process for how many years? 100 years, because we need to calculate the maximum temperature that it was recorded in century years. Century years in the sense from 1901 to 2001. So that is our task. Okay, so this is the input for us. From this, we'll try to produce the, by taking this input, we'll try to produce the output as the maximum temperature that it was recorded in an year. Okay, and another important point here you need to remember is the quality code. If the information is recorded successfully, then it will be represented as a 1. Otherwise, with some other number, it is going to be represented. So, if the quality code is other than 1, what it means? The information was, the information contains some erroneous data, or it was not recorded properly. Okay, you just keep it that point in your brain, because while analyzing the data, the quality code plays an important role, because we need to consider only the information that was captured properly. Okay, we don't consider erroneous data for our comparison process. So that is the reason we'll do this. Okay, right. So this is the data set which we have, and by applying, or you need to define a mechanism. You need to create an Hadoop environment where you can execute, you can take this input and you can process it, and finally you're supposed to produce the output. Hope you all clear with the problem or not, because if you are not able to understand the problem, you may not follow the answer. Anybody is having any query regarding, are you clear with this input, that is data set, and what we are supposed to find out? That means what output we are supposed to generate. So these things, are you clear or not? Anybody please respond with a message if you have any queries. LE501, please unmute yourself. LE501. LE501, please unmute yourself. LE501, are you there or not? LE501, or you can respond in chat box whether you are present in the class or not. LE501. LE505. LE505. You can unmute yourself and you should respond. LE505. D7. D7. D for Delhi. D7. I1. 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 Make fast. I1. Right. Okay. So if you have any queries, you can ask, because I hope majority of you people are not in attemptive mode. Okay. All right. Now let us start our analyzation of this weather data set. Right. So this data is downloaded from National Climatic Data Center. It contains a large volume of log data collected by the weather sensors which are present in the weather stations. Right here, it captures so many parameters, but we'll consider only the temperature because we want to produce the maximum temperature which it was recorded in a year. So that is the reason here we'll consider only the temperature parameter. And if you observe the data format, it is line oriented ASCII format. Each record has many elements, as you have seen in the previous slide. So we focus on the temperature element because that is the parameter. Based on that parameter, we are going to produce the output. So the data files are organized by date and weather station. Okay. And finally, there is a directory for each year. There is a directory for each year from 1901 to 2001. So each containing a zipped file for each weather station with its readings for that year. With its reading for that year. Right? So, so what we have to do is, so what is the output? What is the question here itself is, what is the highest recorded global temperature for each year in the data set? We have 100 years, century years information. Okay. We need to generate the highest temperature that it was recorded in a year for each year in the data set. Okay. So that is the task. So here you can observe that this is the information which is in the form of line oriented. So here you can observe some content is blurred. There you can observe that 1990, that is the year, 1990, 1990, 2650, 2650. This is the year information, and this is the temperature which it was recorded in that year. Okay, if you observe first line, first year is 1990. 1990, in that the information, the temperature is recorded as 1. Okay, similarly in 1990 the temperature 221 is recorded. Similarly in the same year 111, this is the temperature which it is recorded on different dates, right? So now if somebody, what we are supposed to do is like that, it contains the information regarding all the years, right? So now we need to find out the maximum temperature that it was recorded in a particular year. Here in our case 1990, it was repeated 3 times. So we need to find out the maximum temperature that was recorded in these three, in this year is 221 as the output, because that is the highest one when compared with 01, 221 and 111. Okay, so this is the format of the information which you have. From that you are supposed to be generated. So here you can observe that this is the list of data files that you have, because in the 1990 this is the station number, and okay, and similarly all the stations information is available, and the information is recorded in the form of zipped file, right? Now here is one way of solving this problem with the help of AWK script. AWK is a programming language by using which we can develop the script. With the help of this script we are able to produce the desired output. Okay, so because here we need to understand, because Hadoop supports different formats, or even we can develop a solution even by using C language, even by using C++ for the same program. So now here the question is how efficiently produce the output, that means in terms of performance. How much time it takes to process? It takes to process, because here the size of the file is huge. Okay, so in that case, how do you handle it and how effectively you are able to produce the output? These are the only things that parameterize. So here I was developed a code using AWK programming language. It's a script actually. Okay, don't worry about it. What is AWK and what we can do with that? Can we learn this language? You need not learn any language. Just for the performance, I just want to show you the performance difference between MapReduce programming model and other programming languages. And it is another important point which I want to clear you is, it is not only the programming language which is going to solve the huge volume of data. There are other programming languages are also able to solve this, but they are different performances. That is what I mean to clear to you, right? So here I will explain what happens if we each and every line in this code. So for year in all, that means I just want to repeat this loop for all the years, century years, right from the beginning of 1901 to 2001. Okay, so here echo any base name year. So just first I will print the year. Say for example 1901, 1902. Okay, so first I will print the year 1901, and then what I did is I just unzip the contents of that particular year. As I told you, it maintains a directory for the each year in the form of zipped file. So in order to process the data which is stored in that, I need to be unzip it. I need to extract the information from the zipped file. So for that reason, I need to be unzipped it. And then what I did is, so here the script will be start. Temperature is equals to substring of $0. Here $0 indicates we will consider the whole document rather than part of the document. Say for example, if your file consisting of 10 lines, okay, if you write $0 indicates it consider all the 10 lines. Instead of that, if you specify $1, $2, $3, $4, what happens in that case is, instead of considering 10 lines, it will consider only first 4 lines because you mentioned $1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the reason in the given input, it will consider whatever it may be the lines that you have specified. Okay, so here I just instructed that you need to consider the whole document. So that is the reason I'll make it as a *0 and followed by 88,5. So those are the line positions and column numbers where this temperature information is available, and followed by +0 in the AWAK. So this information, substring of this entire information is in the form of string. So I need to be converted into temperature. In the AWK, if you write the statement like this, what happens is the entire thing which is present right side of the is equals to, okay, right side of the is equals to will be converted into integer and it will be assigned to temperature. Okay, so in order to make this part as an integer, we need to be write the statement like this by adding the 0 to this, so that it will automatically converted it into temperature. Now Q is equals to substring of $0.93,1. That means quality code. As I told you, if the quality code is 1, it means that the information is captured successfully without any errors. If it is other than that, that means other than 1, okay, what you are supposed to be think is it is somehow erroneous data or it is not correct data. Okay, so the quality code will be extracted from the file, okay, and it will be stored in Q. If the temperature is not equals to, this is the maximum temperature which we assume, okay, 9,999. If it is not equal to this and the quality code is not equals to 01459, okay, or otherwise you can write if Q is equals to 1, Q is equals to 1, like that also you can write, right? So if it satisfies these two conditions, that means it is not an erroneous data and it does not reaches the maximum temperature. That means if it recorded as a 4 nines, what it indicates, it is a erroneous data, right? There is no that much temperature is going to be recorded in the world anywhere, even in West Indies or some other countries also. Okay, so initially I was initialized max with 0. Okay, a temperature is greater than max. Suppose this is the temperature which we extracted from the file. If it is greater than the max, then what we have to do? We'll make this temperature value as the maximum value. For that, we wrote a statement like this. Okay, so what we did with these 3 lines, we will extract the temperature field from the file as well as the quality code. Will verify they are the correct data with these 2 conditions. And the third condition, what will verify is whatever the previously recorded maximum temperature, if the new temperature is greater than, new temperature in the sense newly extracted information is greater than the previously extracted information, what we need to do? We just change the maximum is equals to 10. Like that, we'll repeat the process for the whole year. Okay, after that, we'll print the maximum value. Whatever we have recorded for that year, that maximum will be printed. After that, again it will move to the backward to fetch the next year. In such a way, it is going to be print the output. We can observe in 1901, it generates 317. 317 means it is 10 degrees Celsius scale. So that's why it will become 31.7 degrees Celsius. Similarly, in 1902, 24.4 degrees Celsius. Okay, so like that it generates the maximum temperature that was recorded in the year from 1901 to 2001. So in such a way, with these 4 lines of code, you are able to generate the output. But here the performance is a complete run for the century. It took 42 minutes on a single machine, on a single with highly configured machine. Okay. So that is the time it took for processing the all the years, 100 years of information, right? Now, how we can solve this problem with MapReduce? Okay, so that is in this the basic functionality is what are the advantages of using Hadoop or using MapReduce paradigm? In this MapReduce paradigm, we will divide the task into number of blocks, equal length number of blocks, and those blocks are distributed to the n number of nodes, and all the nodes physically holds the blocks, and whatever the MapReduce mechanism that you have defined, that will be applied on the block which it keeps in a data node. That means every data node hold a block, and that block will be processed by using MapReduce mechanism that you have supplied. So in such a way, all the blocks are executed parallelly. All the blocks are executed independently without depend on any other data node, right? And there are so many issues here itself. Say for example, one of the system is in your cluster is highly configured and one of the system is low configured system. In that case, if you supply the blocks for the both the systems, what happens? The highly configured system is able to process your task within no time, whereas the low configured system, configuration system will take more amount of time. Even though we need to be balance all these things and produce the performance in an effective way. So these all things are able to do with the help of MapReduce program, right? So these all steps you are aware of it. Once again, we'll quickly read all these steps and then we'll move to the next. So dividing the work, a process different years in different process, okay? Because that information will be supplied to another mapper logic, another reducer logic, okay? So not same year will be processed by both the mapper and reducer. It may be different. It is important to divide the work into even distribution, split it into fixed size chunks. And once it processed, and then what is the next step? Combining the results. So if using the fixed size chunks approach, the combinations is more delicate because some of the chunks are, if all of them, some of the chunks may not be filled, completely filled. Sometimes we need to be padding it. Okay. So because of that reason, it's a delicate one, and still we are limited by processing capacity of a single machine. As I told you, some data sets grow beyond the capacity of a single machine. That means we cannot accommodate in that particular machine because of the low configuration. Okay, right. To use multiple machines, we need to consider variety of complex problems. One is coordination and reliability. And here another important point is, with the job tracker, we can distribute the file into number of data nodes, and we can schedule the job processing with the help of task tracker. Job tracker is running on name node, whereas task tracker is running on data nodes. So each and every one, these are the two important building blocks of HDFS. Okay, because they play an important role while handling the large volume of data. And reliability. Reliability in the sense, Hadoop itself, it provides a mechanism of how to handle the failure of a data node. What we are supposed to do if a data node gets failed, right? With the help of heartbeats, the job tracker continuously monitors. Job tracker in the sense, job tracker is a component in a name node. Actually, what I told you while explaining the architecture is, name node periodically polls all the data nodes and they should respond with an heartbeats. That means internally the data node, the job tracker component will take care of listening these heartbeats. And then whenever if it did not receive any heartbeat from a particular data node, what it assumes? Yes, the node gets failed. What it does? Immediately it makes, or it passes the information to the other data node where the second replica is available. Where the second replica is available. So in such a way, it will take care of node failures. Okay. So Hadoop can take care of all these issues, right? Now, so what the MapReduce job here itself is, the MapReduce job contains two important functions. One is map function and another one is reduce function. Okay. Each function will accept key value pair as an input and they produce the key value pair as an output. Okay. So you just choose the inputs and outputs carefully while using mapper function and reducer function. Now, let us try to understand what way we are supposed to develop the mapper function, okay, to sort out this file, and what way we need to develop the reducer function to combine it, and finally, with the help of this MapReduce program, how we are able to produce the job and how what is the performance criteria which when it was compared with the AWK scripting. These things we are supposed to be analyzed. So in the map phase, the text input format of the dataset files, as you are aware of that, they are in ASCII, line oriented ASCII format. So key is offset of the line. Offset in the sense the address of the line. Say for example, it may be present in 88 line or 93 line or 100 line or first line. Okay. And value, each line of the files, each line of the file is the value for it. Okay. Key value pairs in the sense here plus 51317 is the key value. You can imagine, and this is the value for it. This is the key and this is the value for it. Okay. Right. So now pull out the year and the temperature. Indeed, this example, the map phase is simply data preparation phase. That means you can observe the input of map function is what we escalate from this particular input file. Okay, simply we'll make the key values based on this. We'll try to generate. We'll try to make the input as like this key value pairs, line number, and followed by the value of it. Okay, and from map logic, what you are supposed to produce the output is whatever the 1950, 1950, 1950, 1949, 1949, and these are the temperatures. You can observe they are little bit bolded. 001, 221, 111, 111, 0078, right? So what we are supposed to produce in the 950, this is the temperature it was recorded. In the 950, this is the second record it was produced, second temperature it was recorded. Like that, all the temperatures are supposed to be displayed here. And similarly for other years also. These will be supplied to the, so this information will be sorted you need to be sort all this information and will be supplied to the reducer logic. So in order to sort this, what we have to do in the 1949, we'll find two different readings. So that is the reason we'll make them as a set. Similarly, for the 1950, like that for all the years, just we are considered only these 2 years, but you just imagine that you are supposed to be generate the output for all the years in such a way. And then what your reducer function should do is simply it has to find out the maximum temperature that exists among these three. So here in this case 20 is the highest, whereas in this case 111 is the highest. So finally your reducer function need to produce the output which is maximum of this set of values, right? So here you can observe the complete process in a single diagram. This is the input file which you have. Okay, from that you need to be split it into key value pairs before submitting it to the map logic. What map logic is supposed to produce the output is year and followed by the temperature. Okay, there are so many entries for the year, same year, because initially we will not filter all these things. So that is the reason, because we will supply the similar blocks to various data nodes. So that is the reason we cannot consolidate all the things at mapper function. That is the reason why we need to develop the reducer logic separately. So this is a block of information. Like that, there are a number of blocks are present in this one, and those blocks are supplied to the various other data nodes. Okay, in all the data nodes, the mapper function has to execute and it produces the output like this. Okay, like that, whatever the outputs that are produced by the mapper function will be sorted like this. Similarly, there are n number of blocks are also be there. That means n number of mapper logics and the output of those mapper logics, and they will be consolidated. Okay, and those will be supplied to the reducer. What reducer does is it captures the information from all the mapper outputs or shuffled outputs. From that, it is going to be generate the maximum temperature. Okay, here we will write the logic for finding the maximum temperature, and here we will write the logic for how to do like this. Okay, and finally we'll produce the output. So these are diagrammatically, if we show, you may feel it is easy, but you need to write the code to produce the output in such a way. That is more important. Okay, so in the next class we will see how do we implement all these things, and what are the. So here you can observe that the map function implementation mapper interface. The mapper interface is a generic type and 4 type of parameters. One is, here you can observe that input key type and value, output key type and output value. So that is these two specifies the input which the mapper function will accept, and these two specifies the output which the mapper is supposed to produce. Okay, here long writable is a data type in Java, just like long. Okay, so here I was given that information regarding the data types also. Hadoop provides its own set of basic types optimized for network serialization. Okay, this IO package, the long writable means which is equivalent to the long data type in Java, even though the long writable is the format supported by Hadoop. Okay, because it was also be developed based on Java framework only. So that is the reason which is equivalent to long, like text, which is equivalent to string, int writable, which is equivalent to the data type integer in Java, and output collector, which is the by using this we can write the output. Okay, we will use all these things in this program. This is the program mapper logic, which it is supposed to produce the output like this. Okay, so the implementation part which we will discuss in the next class. So any queries? Do you have any queries? Ivan, are you there? Previously I was I was asked so many times, but you did not respond. Ivan,
Yes, sir.
why you are unable to unmute yourself in the previous case?
Chat box to message చేశాను sir.
You just messaged me as SR. I told you, you just unmute yourself and you can talk. So are you clear with the weather data set? What it contains, what we are supposed to be analyze, and what we are supposed to produce the output. These things, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. LE 501. LE 501. LE 501. So I think he was not there. I'll mark it as an absent. So today's absentees are A0, A3, C2, C6, D0, D8, E1, F1, F8, G2, H0, I2, followed by LE1. Because he was not responding since from the beginning of the class. LE 501, I'll give you another chance. Are you there or not? No, he did not respond. Mohan Babu sir, you just mark it as an absent. LE 501. Like that, from the next class onwards, we will select randomly. We will call some of you. If you are not present over there, we'll mark it as an absent. Right? Okay. So, do you have any queries? Okay. I'll end the session. So, in the next class, we will see the implementation part of weather data set using. Thank you.